Hey, welcome back to the channel, you guys. I wanted to share my thoughts on the Creature from the Black Lagoon. This movie came out in 1954. It's an hour and 19 minutes. I always wanted to have this into my collection, and so it took me like, whew, man, at least 4 or 5 days to get through this movie. But I got a collector's, a complete legacy collection, and I guess it has, you know, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and then it's got Revenge of the Creature, and then it's got The Creature Walks Among Us. So I had no idea that any of those movies existed. So eventually I will watch those movies. But the one that I watched was the first one, which is this one right here. And I just got done watching it today. And for a movie that came out in 1954, I was impressed with uh, the photography of back then. You know, and I was watching the movie and I kept saying to myself, "Boy, you could tell those people are some swimmers that's in this movie. I mean, they some serious swimmers. You know what I mean?" And but I I kept saying, man, this is one movie that I remember as a kid because you got to understand I was born in '59, so this movie came out in 1954. So that means that I didn't probably watch the movie until maybe I was a little boy and I seen somebody watching it, and then as I got older, I finally sat down and watched it. But it's one of those movies that's always, you know, I remember, and as old as I'm getting, I always remember that movie, and so I decided to put it in my collection. I'm glad I did, and I really like this. The way it feels, the box set. This here, you could feel it and stuff like that. And another thing too, which is really crazy, yeah, it says down here at the bottom, it says 1954 to 1956. That means all these movies came out, before I was born. And it's so crazy. But what's weird about this too, also, is that this is a Blu-ray, and when I popped this bad boy in, I could not get over the picture clarity on that thing. And it was shocking because I'm so busy, and like I was doing laundry, I was multitasking. I had worked out yesterday, so I didn't have to work out today, and I kind of wanted to go for a walk, but it's still kind of hot outside, and I just like, so I was just doing some housework because I'm not the type of guy that likes to sit. But I sat down and watched this, and I was amazed at the story because the story is really well told. There's nice pacing. It was really, they really took pride in how they made this movie back then. I was just sitting there watching. It's like, wow, I really think this is a really good movie. And I'm saying this to myself. And yeah, you guys know on this channel I watch a lot of movies and play video games. Unfortunately, I can't drop movies about video games, things about video games because they're time consuming and you got to beat them. But I am going to put up a playlist telling you where I'm at in video games and where I'm stuck. And that's going to be a playlist. So that way I can keep you current on the games I'm playing as far as where I'm stuck and how I'm doing and what I think. But anyway, this is a really, really good movie. I was surprised. But yeah, it's got Revenge. This one's got two movies on one: Revenge of the Creature, and then The Creature Walks Among Us. So I'm gonna have to watch these movies because I have never really watched these two movies, to tell you the truth. But yeah, it's just a quick oversight or quick thoughts. I watched this today while I was multitasking and doing a bunch of stuff, and my air conditioner come on again, so that means it's gonna be loud. But anyway, it just was impressive. This movie was impressive. Like I said, if they do make a 4K version of this, I don't see why I would want to buy it because I literally stared at my screen and I could not believe how good this picture was with this Blu-ray. And so I just don't think it's necessary for me to actually go out and get a 4K. And especially I like the way this box looks, and I just like the way, I like how this feels right here and stuff. It's a nice little complete legacy collection. But yeah, it's so weird because you can see how producers back then and the people that was making movies was trying to capture the creepiness and the scariness and how they was making movies back then. And I was just really looking at the difference between this movie and how movies are made today. So it's a really good way to actually, look back and see how movies was made back then. Because I'll be honest with you, most of you folks out there, even some of you click on watch this, which I know, look, I'm going to put this out here too. A lot of these videos, man, and I appreciate the subscribers. I'm making sure I'll tell you guys that. I really appreciate the subscribers. But there's just sometimes there's things I talk about that might not even interest you. And some of these movies are not going to be your cup of tea because some of y'all was born, I don't know, in the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. So, some of this you just don't have a, me, I'm fortunate because I was born in 59, so I grew up with a lot of different stages of movies. Not that you guys haven't, but it's just so neat because I literally sit in my living room saying to myself, wow, this movie is really, really good. It really, really is good. I remember watching a movie, The Lady, some movie, Deal on Tour, I forgot the name of it, The Lady something, but I didn't care for it. Where this girl she fell in love with this. I remember when I seen that movie, the Lady in the Water and the Lady or something like that. I forgot the name of that. I hate when I get in front of this camera, but it's the one where this lady fell in love with this fish-looking guy, and she was having sex with it and stuff. Gilmore Terrio with Notorio. You know what? Forget it. I hate when I get in front of this camera. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I didn't care for that movie that much. I watched it, but it just wasn't for me. I thought it looked good and all, but it just wasn't for me. But this creature was fascinated by that girl. He kidnapped that girl. They ended up killing that thing in the end. They didn't want to. This guy right here, he was dead set on capturing it. This guy wanted to just let it go and study it. But this is the only one I watched. But I had no idea that they had that many, Creature from the Black Lagoon movies. I never knew that. Just goes to show you, what I didn't know about, because one came out in 54, the other one came out in 56, and the other one came out in 55 and 56. So that's impressive. But I never had no idea that those movies existed. But anyway, I can't stand when this air conditioner comes on. It just seems like it drowns out my talking. But anyway, you guys, have you guys watched The Creature from the Black Lagoon? Are you familiar with it? Did you have a parent or maybe an uncle or a grandma that you grew up with? That you remember watching this when you was a little one or something? Because there's a lot of movies, man. I'm glad that I was able to be born at a certain time where I could catch all these movies and all the current movies that are out. And so anyway, that's my quick thought on this. It's not a review. It's just what's so weird is, again, this is a Blu-ray, and I kept looking at how clear this thing was. I played it in my Xbox Series X, and I was just, the picture quality and the clarity was just awesome. And the way it was filmed underwater, I said, man, they was doing this back then in 1954. I was like, wow, man, that's impressive, the way they filmed this back in 1954, and the way she was swimming and the way this thing was swimming up under and looking at her. And it was just, wow, I was just blown away by it. I was just shocked. I just really looked at some of the small detail. And and the way the thing was putting his hand through the window, or you see him crawling up on the boat, or you see him walking and you see his legs, and it was neat how it was shot. And then when he finally got out of the water and you see this full body, obviously it just he just looked like a creature in fish scales. But yeah, it was pretty impressive, you guys. But anyway, God bless, take care, and that's Creature from the Black Lagoon complete legacy collection. And like I said, I had no idea that Revenge of the Creature and then The Creature Walks Among Us. I had no idea these was out there, so I'm kind of excited. All three films from the legacy of the original Creature from the Black Lagoon in high def. And I'm telling you, They did a good job high def, because I mean it was just impressive, man. I mean seriously impressive. So I got these other two to watch, and I'll probably throw a video up for that. So God bless and take care, and we'll catch you next video. Have a safe week.